higher severities. So the normal state, when there's no carpal tunnel syndrome symptom, the score is 11. When there's a very, very severe carpal tunnel syndrome, the maximum score is 55, as you see on the left-hand side. Now, this is the version of a glove, of a mitten, which has been, which is an improvement on the glove mitten with the primitive garden mitten, which we used to begin with. And it was designed by the orthotic company Oriole. What are the results of our preliminary clinical trial? Altogether, we collected 27 cases, which have been followed up at 1 month, 6 months, and 12 months. 11% of the cases, according to the Boston Carpal Tunnel Questionnaire, all had a Boston score of over 30 points, and the glove, the mitten failed, and surgery was advised. However, 52% of all the cases were no longer waking up in the night at all, and 37% of the cases woke up less than they did before. They woke up only once during the night. Well, when we look at the average value of the Boston Questionnaire score, we look at it at before treatment, the average, before using the glove during the night. The glove is put on in the evening and kept on all night. You see that the average Boston score was 35.56, which is a high score. After 1 month use of the mitten, it went down to 22.75. After 6 months, 15, and after 12 months, 12.3. So that when the mitten is worn at night, there is a gradual improvement of the Boston Questionnaire score. In 52% of cases, after 1 month, there was already no pain. The wake-up frequency was also extremely reduced. 52% found an improvement already after the first month. Before treatment, the average wake-up number of wake-ups in the night was 3.23, and after only 1 month, the average wake-up frequency was already reduced to 1.88. And after about a year, you see at the bottom, the general wake-up frequency in all cases was 1.17. So, to summarize this preliminary clinical trial, there are 27 cases. The 2 cases with the BCT over 30 failed, and surgery was advised. And you see there the results of the average results of all the cases which did not fail. Partial relief 37%, and symptoms, total abolishment of the symptoms 52%. So what's our message? What's the bottom line? The CTS night mitten showed great promise in the ongoing treatment of night symptoms of mild to moderate severity of CTS. We thank our partners, the Oriole company, who made a more comfortable and more efficient mittens for us. And we're hoping for better times. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Questions?
Yes. Any questions regarding this topic? Just if you have any questions regarding this topic, just you can raise your hand, or else you can text in chat box as well if you are having any kind of questions. Yes. Thank you so much, sir. It was a nice presentation, and convey this message to Dr. Moran as well. He'll be getting the participation certificate as well as electronic booklet along with secret points by within 1 or 2 days, officially to his email ID. Thank you so much, sir, once again.
Thank you.
We expect your presence next year. Yeah, next year we expect your presence in face-to-face meeting either in US or in the world. We are planning. So we expect your presence as one of the keynote speakers for the conference. Thank you so much, sir, once again.
Thank you.
Yes. Next, we asked Dr. Sigido Dirogo from MPR International School from Switzerland to start the presentation.
Hello, how are you? Good evening. I hope you listen well. Can you confirm? Hello, how are you? How are you? I hope next time I will be there with you, bring presents. Okay, thank you so much for the invitation. And I will share my screen, and then I will tell me if it's going well, the screen. Let me 1 second. I think the screen is sharing now. Yes, all right. Can you see in the screen? Yeah. Can you confirm that? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. I tried to resume just to don't be longer in the presentation, but it is a new topic, and I try to summarize, to synthesize the concept of maybe the posturology, the posturology and how we practically we use that particular part of the medical sciences into diagnosis and into our treatment. All right. Okay, I will try to start the presentation now. Let me set up all, and then we're ready for the presentation. Today is we were talking about some particular topic that is the posturometry in physical rehabilitation. Posturometry is a medical science that is practically we work in diagnosis and treatment. There is not a technique. Normally we talk about techniques. Here I want to talk about diagnosis, about clinical diagnosis, but the most important thing is the instrumental diagnosis. The instrumental diagnosis is something who allow us with an objective instrument to make a diagnosis and to follow our treatment. I try to explain synthetically the concept of the clinical posturometry. Clinical posturometry is a medical science. It's a medical science that it's used for all medical science, from the doctors, dentists, physiotherapists, osteopaths, etc. And it's a science to measure our posture. We use that in neuromuscular diseases to make a diagnosis in our school. Our protocol, the MPR, the myofunctional postural rehabilitation, one part of the diagnosis is instrumental diagnosis. I try to concentrate my presentation today in that particular diagnosis. the posturometry study the posture, measure the posture and study the posture. And is the instrument, yes, it's a good instrument, but the most important thing is the protocol of diagnosis. Instrument without a protocol is nothing, it's just numbers. That instrument allows us to measure the body. It's an easy way to measure the posture. And I will try to explain why we have to measure the posture. But first, I have to introduce you into the instrument and into the basically what is posturometry, what is clinical posturometry. Clinical posturometry is diagnosis, it's not numbers. Clinical diagnosis. I try to summarize, I try to synthesize the concept of the tonic-postural system. It's very short time to explain a very big topic that is posturology and posturometry, but I will try to be concise. The central nervous system is the director in our tonic-postural system. He has receptors, peripheral receptors, and these receptors send the information through the central nervous system to elaborate the environment where we are, to elaborate the muscle tone. Imagine that is very important in rehabilitation because we are talking here about muscles, about muscle change. The muscle is a factor and receptor and send again the information to the central nervous system, and is creating in that way a cybernetic closed system that never stops, even if the information is wrong, and that is the concept. When we have the information who is wrong, the information, the system is working, still working, but it's working with the wrong information and is creating a very wrong muscle tone for the body. And that's why it's important to study and to analyze. The main postural receptors, they are the eyes and the foot support. We are in our body a very big reception, but mainly oculomotor system and foot support are the main receptor from the top and the bottom. In the middle, we have something who is very bad known, that is craniofacial system. Craniofacial system is not very known for dentists, and in my opinion, is not very known for rehabilitator people. And this is a very big disturber. It's not a receptor, but is a very great disturber of the tonic-postural system. And we have to take that in account when we do rehabilitation, because we normally think it's TMJs. TMJs is part of the craniofacial system. Craniofacial system, when it's not working well, is creating a lot of trouble in the postural tonic system. This is normally our body with our receptors, with a big disturber, and from the top, from the bottom. I don't stay here to speak for posturology because we don't have time, just to introduce the concept. Many times ago, I did a research regarding the effect of the oculomotor system, the mouth, the jaw position mainly, and the posture of the body, measuring. That was a research in 1992. I dealing with posturology from 1986, very, very long time. And we discovered that anytime the jaw is deviated, it's altering one of the main receptor that is oculomotor system, and it's altering the body. Lateral deviations, altering one eyes, and altering the overload in one side. We see here, right to left. And the forward and jaw or retro position of the jaw is altering both eyes, and it's not altering an overload lateral, but it's moving the body center forward and back. Imagine silences. The foot support, obviously, is another receptor. And let me see. I think you see, you listen well, I think, okay? Because he's saying the connection is stable. I have to pay, I have to say I'm sorry, but I moved home and I'm still waiting to the people who installed my Wi-Fi, and it's transmitting now with my mobile phone. That is very good mobile phone. It's a very good route, but sometimes it's unstable. Okay, the food can be causative or adaptative, and that is to taking care when we do rehabilitation, and we can measure that, the effect of the foods in the body. The clinical posturometry is a diagnosis, is a very good diagnosis, instrumental diagnosis. That was one of my professors many years ago in 1990. That was Bernard Jenkins, and he said something very clever that is writing in my mind. Clinical opinion may be true or false, but it's only an opinion. When we can measure it, it is transformed into science. That's why in our protocol we do clinical diagnosis and instrumental diagnosis, both. Posturometer is an instrument. The main thing is the protocol of diagnosis. But I try to explain how it's working posturometer. The posturometry is a science who measures the static posture of the body, measure how are the receivers, to see if they are in balance or altered, and analyze what is causing into the tonic-postural system. It's a very good instrument to do diagnosis. If I ask a question to you and say what things are in common, you can be a lot of answers, the torsion, etc. But the common they are searching the body. Our human body is searching the best possible center of gravity. That is the common for us. We are adapting the body to bring our body center closer to the center of gravity of the Earth. Why? Because there we use less energy. Less energy if our body is in the center of gravity. And that's why we adapt. We create functional scoliosis to adapt when the receptors are working bad. Posturometry is a science who measures that. In that very center, we are saving energy. Constant balance in all situations. Every single situation of our life, we are saving energy and finding the balance. If you imagine that one, how it changed the body center, that's golf player, nothing. He adapted, and all of them have problem in the lumbar here, adapting. The same here, a shooter move the position to have the body center, to have a good shoot. Maximum saving, using less resources, and we use less our neuromuscular system. That's very important to understand. What happened if the body is facing an aggression, escape from the pain? And that's why we normally see in our posturometer more load in one side, because the body is escaping to the other side, which is the wrong, which is the problematic side. And these things we are talking about is automatically. We cannot stop that. We don't have an antivirus to stop the wrong information. Always we are working, even if the information is wrong. That's why I am very fanatic to measure how the receptors are working. Why? Because we can intervene. And obviously, early we do that, better. I am fanatic for orthopedics, craniofacial orthopedics in childs, because in that moment we are creating something very good balance for the future. That's very important, but that is not the topic for today. The posturometry, imagine, if some information is wrong, it's like a choir. If one voice is not good, melody is not good. If some receptor is working bad, melody is muscle tone, it's not working good. We have to do that balance through the afferences and efferences. And the posturometer is an instrument who allows us to measure that. Can do diagnosis, we can plan the treatment, and also we can follow our treatment. That's very important in medical sciences. The posturometry, the structure of the posturometry. The structure of the posturometry is based in the study of Kepanji. You know very well rehabilitation people Kepanji. He studied how the body weight is distribution in 3 points, first metatarsus, fifth metatarsus, and calcaneus. We measure that. And we do the diagnosis, the protocol with that. This is the Kepanji distribution. And the posturometer has sensors in that area. And we have a position. The position have to be repeatable to do the exams scientific. The posturometer is an instrument with the protocol who measure the oculomotor system, the craniofacial system, and the foot support. 3 exams, 10 seconds each one. Obviously, you have to understand how to analyze that. I cannot explain that in 20 minutes, but just to give you a roughly picture about that. We position the subject in one position 80 centimeters from the wall, because we have to force the receptors, and the receptor can show us mainly the vision. And we have three exams: open mouth, eyes open, mouth closed, eyes open, and open mouth, eyes closed. 3 exams, 10 seconds, and we have the results to do a diagnosis. The first one is studying the posture of the body. The second one, the effect of the occlusion, that means the craniofacial system dysfunction. And the third one is study the foot support. 3 exams. After that, you can measure everything. We measure treatment, we measure a lot of things, but it's not the topic of today's workshop. And the graphics we have is, this one is one of the graphic, the concept of Kepanji. You see here, the concept of Kepanji there. Kepanji is any triangle is a sensor. When the triangle is, we can study, the Kepanji areas. We can study the torsion of the body, the oscillation, the body center, but mainly the overload. And the things we measure there give us an information we can make it diagonal. We can measure the stabilometry. This is another graphic. We can measure stabilometry, different things in stabilometry, the body center, the area, the speed, etc., etc. Any one of these have a particular significance for diagnosis. And the foot support, we can study if the foot support we can study if this foot support body center allow us to see if we have an adaptive foot, a foot with reception problem, how is the foot working. And also we can study the torsion of the body in different situations. We can have a lot of diagnosis with these values using our protocol. I created a protocol for diagnosis 40 years ago, based in that concept. And as a traffic light, when is red is alter, attention, attention, and normal. I go in very quick because I don't want to take time for the other relators. Okay, this is short time to explain a very complicated topic like this, and I will show you some patients. That is concept, and then we finish the relation. Patient. I do first the concept of posturometry, because if it's not, you will not understand what you will see here. And look at how you can measure how the food affect the posture. And look at that. This is the food. This is the food. We study clinically, yes, and then creating the part. We study first, obviously, clinical diagnosis, and then we do the food support. What they mean here, shortly to explain you, these are the two varicenter. The blue one is the varicenter with the eyes open. We're testing the posture, and the green is the foot. Look at here. The two colors are in superposition. And here, no. What they mean in posturometry? The left foot had a proprioception problem. Both are varus varicenter, but this one have a proprioception. And we have to treat it in one way. Different values. Right foot and left foot. Obviously, we measure the length of the trace. If you see this length is more than this, we can set in posturometry, this foot is blocked, and this foot is with proprioception, and we have diagnosis to do a treatment. We can measure scares. The scares alter the posture also. Chronic scares can alter the proprioception of the skin. Skin is another big antenna in our body. Some scare can create problem in the posture. We can measure that. We can measure how. Look at here. No overload, but look at the movement here and the varicenter. That scare is creating trouble in the neuromuscular system and is moving the varicenter forward. And that is very more complicated, but just to show you how we do that. We don't measure only that, but it's very simple, 20 minutes to show that. And look at here, we can see the varicenter. The varicenter here in the scare is very, very, very asymmetric varicenter. That means posture is not good. And we can measure the big disturber, the craniofacial system. That is the thing. We never connect with the rest of the body. Dentist and physiotherapy. Physiotherapy and osteopath a little bit more. How the mouse, the jaw position can affect the eyes, it can affect the posture. The lateral deviation, with the eyes, as you see there, and how it's affecting, mainly in the first step is affecting the neck. Chronically is affecting the rest of the body. Vertebral rotation, you see there. You can see here retroposition of the jaw. Retroposition is the worst situation of the craniofacial system. We do courses for physiotherapists, osteopaths, and dentists also to work together, to work in an interdisciplinary concept, to work together to treat that, because we cannot work isolated, but that also is not the topic of this concept, okay? But we have to study together. We have to see the patient in the same way, to treat the patient in the same way. We can work together, face to face, shoulder to shoulder, all right? The yoides retrusion, how the yoides is on the lower position, and how it's affecting also the tonic-postural system, cervical alteration, as you see there, and cervical block, and you see there cervical scoliosis, and then slowly going down. If you leave it chronically, it's arriving to the bottom. And you see here, look at here, mouth open, and how when the spacing close the mouth is increasing the overload, 2.6 to 3.4 to the left every day of the life, overloading. And look at when we annulate. We are not treating here. The bed is a body equilibrium device, is a thermoplastic device for all medical sciences, not for medical doctors, dentists, physiotherapists, osteopaths, who annulate the negative effect. And look at 0. You annulate, and from 3 kilos, overload disappear. Just annulating the negative effect. It's a very useful tool for physiotherapists. And look at how the craniofacial system can interfere in athletes, because when craniofacial system is not working, it's creating a lot of problems. This is a research I did many years ago, and still carry on doing that with different sports. No, now when I was at school, we are doing that with CrossFit and with another strong sports. No, and we are doing this research with the sport. It's very interesting that we measured in from 1998. Look at that. This is an athlete. Is an athlete who is also a personal trainer. And we studied the craniofacial system. Your position is not good. And it's altering the body. Yeah, he is doing a strong sport. And look at that. And this is the clinical diagnosis. This is the eyes. You see that the craniofacial system alter the oculomotor system. The torsion of the shoulders, that is connected with the jaw position, and how is adapting the foot, block it, and the jaw. And what we did with these athletes, the only way to see immediately what happened is force. And we said to them, listen, we do something, all right? We adapt a bed just to annulate the mouth and say, listen, go ahead and tell me how many kilos you can weight. Here, right, imagine 120 kilos. You cannot do more? No. Put the bed and do again. And anytime we annulate was immediately annulating the craniofacial system dysfunction is increasing between 20 and 35% the forces. That is to show how craniofacial dysfunction can interfere into the athletes, in any athletes. That was a study, and it's carry on the study, because we carry on measure people and we carry on study the people, and look at this boy, how the 4 kilos, 1 kilo increased the forces. As a conclusion, before I finish here, I want to tell you that it's important. The techniques are all important, but all of them are tools to work. The main thing, in my opinion, is diagnosis, is to go to the focus of the problem. And we focus in clinical diagnosis, instrumental diagnosis, and different techniques for the body to study the internal environment. We study biochemistry, we study the food, we do a lot of diagnosis. That is one part. The show is synthetically, I try to show you one part of our protocol that is instrumental diagnosis. It's a very, very interesting tool. It's an interesting tool, very interesting. It's a tool that is useful for everybody. This is our application, our website and the mails if you want to have more information. Thank you so much for your attention, and I want to go ahead. This is a very complicated topic for short time, and I hope you understood shortly what is clinical posturometry. Thank you so much. If you have any question, I have here to answer.
Yes. Any questions? Just you can raise your hand if you have any kind of questions regarding this talk. Thank you so much, sir. Once again, thank you once again.
Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. See you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. You'll be getting the first certificate as well.
Thank you so much, and good. Thank you and good luck for the conference and compliment. Thank you so much. Bye bye, sir.
Yes, thanks so much. So next we'll go. Next talk we'll go with the doctor Ismail Sports from German Sports University from Germany.
Para all people who are working here in our YouTube channel.
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Isabel Stolz. I'm a researcher.
I have to say thank you so much to be there. Yes, and I try to share that presentation.
Today I want to give
I want to share with all of you the presentation of this topic, that is posturometry, and I hope you enjoy it. And I see you in the next transmission in our channel. Bye bye, everybody.
Our target group was